Hello, my beautiful friends. It is Mimi here today, and today I have a very special guest for you guys, Valeria.
Yay! So happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you here. We had like 2-3 hours to record 2 videos, so we've already done one on Valeria's channel. So make sure to go to her channel and check out how we did this makeup.
Yes.
Very basic, simple makeup, pretty much every day, which took a little longer today because we were talking and doing it at the same time.
It was a very much of like girls time. Yes.
So we connected a lot, answered a lot of interesting questions. And right now on my channel, what we're going to do, I've already have curls in my hair. So what I'm going to do in Valeria's hair is I'm going to curl her hair and show you guys how, for some of you who have more fine hair that doesn't hold curls well, you can actually curl it and allow for these curls to stay for like a couple of days. And you can tell me later how long they last in your hair.
I also don't know how to curl my hair, so this is
really
great.
So you have a bit of a curl, but you said you got it done, right? A couple of days ago?
Yeah, I had it done a couple of days ago, but then we went outside yesterday for pictures and it started raining. So now I have all of this.
No, it looks beautiful, but what I'm going to do is just going to add curls throughout, and then we're going to chat while we're doing this.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do your hair, and you guys already see, obviously, I have curls in mine. So let's get started.
Yes.
So before we get started, actually...
yes, I actually asked Mimi if she has the Love Hair Dry Shampoo, because that's the one I use, and I finished it before I came to London.
You finished already the whole thing?
Yes, I'm
you can
big.
keep this one
I'm a big advocate for dry shampoo.
Oh my god.
So
yeah, show me how you use it, and then I can tell you if this is how I use it.
Okay. I hope that.
So for those of you who don't know, because I've done like a video on Love Hair coconut oil before, but I never did like a whole launch video or anything. Love Hair is a brand that Alex and I created. It's something we worked for 2 years. I mean, those of you on Instagram who follow me already know this, but just FYI. So this is like the cleanest dry shampoo you can get on the market. Like if you look at the ingredients, there's only a few of them and they're super clean.
Yeah.
But the most important thing, it actually works. And that is the most important thing for all the products that we have. So this is how you apply. You just...
Yeah, so I take it into like sections.
Yeah.
And then I'll spread it.
That's fine.
To the roots.
That's all good.
Okay. I feel like you have some tips coming my way. And I do this and I let it sit for a little bit.
You do let it sit. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, so I'll put like my hair in a bun or something and then I'll just let it sit. You see, that's the problem. I'm such a huge lover of face oils, and the way I take off my makeup is with oil. So
I know, I struggle with the same thing because it just goes right into the hairline and then makes the hair look greasy. So then obviously using something that dries the hairline, like dry shampoo, can really help with that.
You know what else? I use it as a hack. You know how when you put dry shampoo, sometimes it falls on your face? It's my powder.
Yeah, and especially with the clean one, like this one, it's safe enough for you to use on your hair, actually.
Exactly.
It's got no fragrance or anything like that.
I told you, I'm the queen of multi-purpose.
I've definitely seen that on her channel now. Just watch how fast she did her makeup, and you used like, 7 products?
Yeah.
It was super easy. And yeah, I would recommend also to just sort of put it all over your hair, let it sit for a few minutes. And then personally, what I do, I start scrunching it.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
Yeah, that's how I get the volume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not just drop it in your hair and thinking it's going to do some magic. You actually have to like work
massage it in.
Yeah, massage it. And then as you do it, you will see how instantly you're starting to create more and more volume in your hair.
More volume, texture, and it like sucks all that, like dries all that oil.
Perfect.
That makes it.
Great. So this is a nice starting base. And now I'm going to start curling Valeria's hair. So for somebody with long, heavy, especially straight or finer hair that doesn't curl well, some important things are, I just realized I didn't bring the hairspray. I'm going to run to the bathroom and bring the hairspray. I'm like, some important things are a hairspray, which I don't have here. I just wanted to mention a few things that are really important for good curls that last. One of them is hairspray, and I realized my natural one is just completely clogged. So Love Hair needs to create a hairspray next.
Yes,
anyway,
I
agree. I have a backup, which is a good old Elnet hairspray, which is not natural, but works really well. So hairspray is a key. A good curler. Today I'm using a Babylus curler, which is really fantastic and super inexpensive. And it's a tongue.
Reminds me of like my younger days, Babyless. It was so,
yeah,
it was all the rage.
I know, but it's still good. It's like one of those basic, because I've tried some expensive brands and, you know, they don't work any better. So I just went back to the basics. And I really like this one. I like the smaller barrel because the curls come out quite tight at first, but then once you take out the hair and it falls out eventually, you'll end up with really nice soft waves. And then also another really important thing is having hair clips. So these you can order or get at any beauty supply stores. You can have big ones or small ones. I have both sizes. So let's get started. I'm just gonna section your hair. So
I think that for the purpose that this video won't be 3 hours.
Yeah, we're gonna speed up the process, but I'll just show you guys.
Yeah. But also for you and I, maybe like not do all because I have fine hair, but there's so much of it.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do
sections. Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically, I'll show you guys the first trend. You take the hair, the section of hair, and I really use this curler, still like one of those barrels that don't have the tongue. But the reason I still prefer these ones, because you can use them in many different ways. Whether I would have just grabbed the hair and went like this, or like what I'm going to do today is just wrap the hair around the barrel. And I always, well, depending on the curl I'm going for, but today I'm going to go away from the face. So wrap around away from the face and then hold it for a few seconds.
Were you always good with hair?
No, not at all. But
okay.
I always wanted to know how to do my hair. But the funny thing is, I usually just wear my hair in like curls down. I know how to do so many things now. Obviously, after I had the the Luxy Hair channel, but you know, I'm very easygoing and simple when it comes to hair makeup. So I usually end up doing the same thing. So what I'm gonna do now, and this is kind of crucial also with setting the curl, is I'm going to take the hairspray. I'm just going to spray it in my palm, and then I'll let the curl sort of fall, be covered with the hairspray.
Yeah.
I'll let it cool for a few seconds before I pin this curl. So then you use one of these clips and just pin it down. And voila, you have your first one. So again, I'm just going to work through the sections and then we're going to chat.
Yeah, let's talk.
Okay, let's talk.
Do you want
I'll ask you questions.
Yeah, ask me questions that you remember, and if we need to for you to go to your phone, we can do it.
So what inspired you? And we did a podcast, by the way, with Valeria. If you haven't,
I'm so excited.
I am so excited to listen to
People are like,
myself.
when is it out? When is it out? I'm like, I don't know.
It's probably going to be out really soon. Probably when you guys watch this video, the podcast will be out. So I'm going to link everything down below. Make sure to listen to it because I found the interview we did with Valeria is so inspiring, encouraging, and just enlightening in so many ways. So I'm really excited for you guys to listen to it as well. So I'll be mindful not to ask you the same questions, obviously, but I'm just really excited because I know a lot of people who sit down to film videos for YouTube or Instagram or whatever. There's that fear, that initial fear of being able to go over the fear and film that first video. So how did you struggle with that? And if you did, how did you overcome that fear of putting yourself out there?
Yeah, I struggled with it a lot, especially because I am naturally, growing up, I was such an insecure child and I just so thrived with, being invisible. So for me, doing something like that will emphasize all the so-called insecurities that I had when it came to, my English, my grammar, my accent.
Yeah.
Because yes, I was modeling and I was comfortable in front of the camera, but speaking your mind and putting your message out there is so different than just taking pretty pictures. So, it was very, very scary, but I also had kind of nothing to lose because no one knew who I was. You know what I mean? If it really, really sucked, you can just kind of take it down. But I also knew that it's going to be a progress and I am going to get better, especially because I kind of went online and all these successful people on these platforms, if you scroll way back, you see where they started and you see such progress. So
absolutely,
I saw that, this is something that will happen to me as well. So I just went for it.
Well, that's amazing because I think people from the outside look at this perfect picture and they don't realize that to this day, sometimes I'll sit in front of the camera and I'll have that moment where I'd be like, okay, we can do this,
Yeah.
So it's not like, obviously you progress over time, but I feel like that resistant voice will all still get that resistance. And it's not an excuse to not create or put your work out there.
I just always, honestly, it's so simple. What do you have to lose?
Well,
because
people have
you're
the face to lose, because so many people are afraid to lose that face.
the face of what?
I don't know. To be
That's
honest,
what a lot of people. I think you know what the question that we always have to ask ourselves is: first of all, what do I have to lose? Because if that's not going to work, you're going to be in the same place that you are right now. So I mean, nothing really happened.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the second thing, you need to remember that you live your life for yourself and not for other people.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, such big decisions you making for other people will really change the course of your life. And at some point in your 80s, you're going to look back and just be like, wow, I lived my life for those people who couldn't care less. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of us make that mistake, but I always remind myself at the end of the day, when I'm 80, I want to look back and just be like, I lived my life by my own rules and made my own choices based on my, opinions.
Yeah. And didn't live your life, according to what you believed you had to do.
Exactly.
As a person, as a woman, especially, I feel like there's so many expectations for women at work, in personal life, in relationships, as moms. So it's like having that courage to step away from that and live your own truth. I feel can be a lot. For most women, and very challenging for most women.
And there's not a right thing to do anything. No one knows what they're doing. You know what I mean? This right way, it's what society decided because they just they needed a guideline, but it's not a rule that you have to follow. So I'm all about starting new ways to do things and inspire other women to follow their own truth and their own authenticity and do things their own way.
Yeah, 100%. So a lot of people wanted to know about self-love. Like when it comes to you and I guess people get the impression that this is something that we have mastered in our personal life. So do you feel like self-love is something that comes natural to you, has always come natural to you, or is it something you've learned along the way?
I definitely think that first of all, I don't feel like I've mastered it. I just feel like I'm more aware of different factors. But it definitely did not come naturally with me. I think that it does. I don't know anyone that it comes natural
to anyone,
because it's a muscle, right? It's like you have to fight your own ego and your own inner negative voice. So it really is like this constant process that you're going through. So
I'm gonna go on the other side. Somehow. I feel like one of the curls already. You know what? We'll just cut that out after. Hold your thought.
I thought you were gonna say hold your breath. I'm like, oh my god.
Don't hold your breath. Okay, so don't worry if especially if you have really long and heavy hair Valeria does. A lot of these clips, and I'm using a big clip, but you guys can see, even that is not holding her hair. But I'm also not using really small sections because I'm not going for super curly hair. I'm going for really nice waves.
Yeah.
So if the hair starts falling out, I would still keep it in the pins and let it fall out as much as it does. Anyways, going back to the point of self-love.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, it's definitely a process and something that I work on every single day. And I'm sure that is the same for you.
100%. I feel like there's periods of life where I'm better at it.
Yeah.
And I feel like, obviously, after becoming a mom, I've prioritized Alexa for so long that I'm now relearning how to give to myself first. I feel like that's something you do really well. But again, you have experience. You have 3 kids. I have 1. So maybe that's something you can share, especially for moms out there. How did you learn? Because I think with your audience, that's what a lot of women find really inspiring. How did you learn to prioritize yourself and not feel that mom guilt? Because most women do.
I think that I think once the baby's out, that mom guilt that's it. It's part of you.
Hereditary.
Exactly. It's like a bone in your body. So it doesn't go away.
Ever.
It's just another voice you have to fight. Wonderful. So just like you're fighting your ego, just like you're fighting your negative inner voice, this is another literally animal to fight. But I think that, you know what, I always kind of reflect back to the way I was brought up and having such a young mother who immigrated. She was 21. I was 2 years old when we immigrated to Israel.
So she had you when she was 19.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That's why she's so young and beautiful still. That's amazing.
She's a queen. So I just remember that, and I remind myself, she wasn't present as much as I am and have the luxury to be present. Obviously, she was working and she really tried her best. And you know what? I feel like she instilled in me so many beautiful lessons just with her journey. And I think that that's why it reminds me that kids always watch us. So it doesn't matter
it's
necessarily
not
what you say.
100%.
Is how you move and how you talk to yourself and how you just live your life and your own journey. Because that's how they learn everything. So I feel like, in the beginning with my first child, I was so nervous about everything. Everything was like, he comes first and how can I not mess him up? And, and I was stressed and I was tired and I really didn't enjoy the time and the whole, first baby thing. And it was a beautiful time. So I think that...
You were so young though.
I was so young. Yeah. I was so young, but I think it's not even age. I see moms that are older than making these, mistakes. Because I think it's just, again, that voice and that guilt. So I think that just taught me a lesson that with the rest of my kids, I need to put myself first because I do see such a big difference in my relationship with my husband, which is the base for everything. My relationship with myself, the way I move and conduct myself in the world. And that's what I want my children to see. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, they're going to choose their spouses by kind of watching me as a woman and how I...
Especially for boys, right?
Especially for boys, because I have 3 boys. With mom. Exactly. So I want them to respect, women. I want them to know that women are... they're taking care of themselves, that they're capable and they can do all these things. And that's important. And they do need to put themselves first. And I think that's a beautiful kind of lesson that also Gary's teaching the boys because he always makes a point to, say things that mommy now needs to rest or mommy needs to go on vacation or we need to take care of mommy now. Like it's very important.
It's how you condition them and also setting up this belief system that they will have for the rest of their lives. I think what's important is if you don't take care of yourself, what are you teaching them? That it's okay not to take care of yourself for themselves. But I'm sure most parents don't want to teach that lesson. We want them to take care of themselves. We want them to put themselves first. They always say, and this is an example a lot of people give with parenting, when you're on a plane, always put your oxygen mask first if God forbid that's ever the case. Because if you can't breathe, you can't help your children. So same with taking care of yourself or I find that even taking care of your marriage, you have to make time for each other because if you don't take care of your relationship, then the kids won't have a family. And that's so hard for kids or for everybody really involved in the whole process. So I think it's so important that, you learn that early on and you're able to.
And that's how I built my pyramid because at first, I just remember with Jake, it was Jake comes first, then it's Gary, then it's me. And now it's literally I come first. Then it's my husband. Then it's my children.
Oh, wow. So you consciously have this.
Yes. I have this I visualize this pyramid. I'm the base. Then the second layer will be my relationship with my husband because it holds everything else that goes on top of it. And then my kids are there. You know
the result of all of that.
There is exactly.
Because that's how it all starts, right? It's not the other way around. No. And the kids, they will always want your attention. I think even when they're older, what kid doesn't want the mommy to still cook and take care of them? I mean, some I'm sure don't, but generally speaking nowadays, what?
I'm not a good cook.
So you like your mom cooking?
Yeah. My mother is a magician.
Oh, nice. So see, that's what I'm saying. It's it's never going to be enough. And I can see that now with some of my mom's older friends who are still helping out so heavily in their children's lives. And they don't have their lives. And they're in their 50s and almost 60s. So is it ever going to end? No, really, not ever. So unless you craft that time for yourself, it's game over.
I'm also scared to be bitter. I've seen a few examples of people.
You mentioned that in the podcast.
Yeah.
You guys have to check out the podcast.
Yeah, bitter as, I've seen some moms that invested. So there's some moms that choose this, that they're you know what, my whole life is my family. And I so respect it. But for other people that, gave up their careers because they're like, this is the right thing to do, I have to take care of all of this. I saw a few examples where later on they become bitter about it. Like,
Absolutely.
I gave up all of this,
Mhm.
and it's just
and they bring it back to the kids. Like,
Yeah.
I did this for you, but the kid will be like, well, you had a choice. Like, nobody asked
no one
me.
asked. That's the thing.
Right?
Like, no one asked you, right? So yeah, we have to be conscious of that as women all the time. And I think that today is so much more complicated because there's all these opinions and experts, and that's how you should raise kids, and that's how you should.
It can be so overwhelming.
Oh my God.
So do you have a philosophy when it comes to raising kids?
Yes.
What
Be
is it?
happy.
Be happy as yourself.
Do whatever, 100%.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you happy. It's like simple as that. Obviously, if you go into the details and like with just like you need to have some structure for the kids, but I'm also not very strict. I love, I'm very consciously letting them become their own person and not putting on them like the vision of how I want them to be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I really consciously understand that they're their own human. They're not an extension of me.
Yeah.
And that's very important to remember.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I do give them the space and, to figure out who they are and to speak their words. And I really try to just talk to them and treat them as adults, like you are your own human. So this is your choice, this is your responsibility, this is the consequences.
100%. You couldn't have said it better. I feel like when I listen to you, it's like you speaking the words. I was literally thinking the same thing as you were saying it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why we can also relate to each other so strongly, because I have absolutely the same philosophy. Recently, somebody asked me if I'm a strict parent, and I literally had to Google the definition, because I feel like I have some boundaries with the way I am with Alexa, but then I'm the same way with everybody else in my life. So it's not just her. I'm not singling her out.
Yeah.
It's just there's certain things I will not take in my life, like abuse or people calling me name or like any kind of verbal or physical abuse. So obviously I treat my child the same way. I will not allow her to call me anything or do anything I wouldn't allow other people. So in that way, okay, I have boundaries, but then I found out that being a strict parent is having these rules where the child doesn't feel comfortable to come to you and they can't really be themselves. And then I said, oh, definitely I'm not a strict parent, because from day one, when Alexa was born, I was so adamant about everyone just allowing her to have her freedom, not telling her what toys to play with or playing the toys for her. Because a lot of times adults will play with the kids and they'll show them how to do things. I'm like, let her figure it out.
Yeah.
We are not serving our kids when we tell them step by step what they need to do.
Exactly.
I want to see her fail, get up and try again.
And the creativity, that's where the creativity starts going, right?
And being there for them as a safety. They know they can always fall back on you, but you give them the freedom instead of chewing everything up and here, eat it. I chewed your food for you. In a way. So let them figure it out. And I think that's such an important part of parenting and allowing that freedom, and also them feeling comfortable to come to you with everything. So you build sort of a friendship as well.
You know what else? I always remind myself, we're going to mess them up one way or another. It's part of life.
Yeah, there's no perfect
There is no way out. It doesn't matter how hard you try. If you're too good, you mess them up. They feel jailed. They become grown-ups. They resent you. If you're too loose, you didn't give me enough structure. They resent you. I feel like we all kind of go through a phase in our lives where we're like, oh, you know what? I'm like this because my mom or my dad did this. Or we're all affected one way or another, and every person will process it in different ways. But I think that's part of being human. We're supposed to face challenges. We're supposed to feel all these feelings. I don't want my child to be constantly happy.
It's not normal.
That's crazy person, So I want them to have all this range of emotions and to have their difficulties and go through it. And the only thing I want them to know is that we're always there to guide you. That's
100%,
it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. So let's talk about just success in career, because again, that was one recurring question that everybody wanted to know. How to become successful, or how to even choose a career path for yourself. So how do you feel that happened for you?
I think that for me, it happened from just putting myself out there to follow things that were just little interests and little hobbies. So I didn't sit there and which a lot of people I feel try to do, find that perfect thing because of who I am at that moment, because that's what we forget. We're constantly changing. So I remember I had my, after my first child, Jake, I think after 4 months or 5 months, I was sitting there, I was at home, I didn't go back really to modeling. And I knew that I had this little interest with nutrition. So I looked it up and I'm like, I'm going to go and get my nutrition education,
just
like certificate for
fun.
holistic nutrition. It's not going to hurt. It's going to just give me more information. And I didn't want to be a nutritionist.
So you didn't have that vision.
I just, exactly. So I just followed it. I was still doing kind of part-time modeling and I pursued that. And then when I finished, I was like, okay, maybe I'll try to see some clients. I didn't like clients. I saw a few and I was like, I didn't like, not the clients, I didn't like the process of it.
I mean, it's a whole different beast, right?
But then what it taught me is that I love educating. I love putting the information out there, even if I can do it for free, but I want it to be on a bigger scale because this one-on-one, I just feel like is not moving the needle. And that's what kind of exposed me to social media. So it's just all these small little things, you know, on the way brought me to where I am at now. That's why I'm always like with young girls, I always say, go to different night classes, go and intern, you know, go ask people things. You can have education as a sculptor and then you end up to be a DJ. Like there's so many different ways to do things. So
follow your curiosity.
Exactly. Yeah. Just be curious and follow it. There's no right or wrong. And I think it's such a beautiful journey and you learn so much about yourself and your strengths and your weaknesses.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you feel was the most challenging thing you had to face in your life? I know it's like a bit of
in life?
Yeah, like in general, like in life, like in general. What has been the most challenging thing on your path of being a human being?
I think the most challenging thing for me would just be to still, I think it's with every stage it's different, but it's like feel comfortable in my own skin and who I am and accept the place where I'm at. And it's constantly changing because, you know, it was a very uncomfortable place when I first became a mother. So I had to find my role as a mom and still Valeria. Then it was the same when I just got married. I'm like, okay, now I'm a wife and then I'm still Valeria. And then it's the social media. So I feel like it's a reoccurring thing that happens. And I feel like now I'm going through that process again where I'm just like...
It's an ongoing process.
It's ongoing,
It doesn't just happen and then you're like, I'm good for life.
Exactly. Exactly. So I feel like that's the constant kind of stop that we get to with every time we kind of, you know, keep climbing up. So I think that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say I relate to that. It's for me, it's that, and also finding that inner peace to just like be okay with the way things are, because I have this like drive in me to constantly do things and accomplish, but I just need to learn to just chill. So I feel like for me, that's the most challenging thing I have faced, is just like to be chilled and just like learn to relax and like learn to trust whatever universe, God, whatever it is. So that's my personal challenge.
I read this quote. I think it was part of a poem or something, but I feel like that's always such a good reminder for me to like just enjoy where I'm at now. And it's something like, you know, there's seasons for everything.
Oh my God, so true.
Right? So it's like there's seasons for you to relax. There's seasons when you go hard. There's a season for... So there's always like all these chapters. And that's what life is. So I think that, you know, right now it's just I'm in the season of this. It's not going to be here forever. So here I am, absorbing it, loving it. And then, you know, what comes next is next.
I think that's beautiful. I agree with that. Okay, let's get the hair out. I think
I am so excited. I feel like it's going to be some Beyonce looks right now.
So again, they are a bit tight when I first released some from the pins, but that was intentional because what I want is obviously this hair to stay like, not like this, but to drop to be like nice and soft, but to last for at least a day or two for Valeria.
Oh, wow.
Where are you off to? I know you're leaving London today. Are you going back to Toronto?
Yeah, we're going back to Canada. Yeah.
Amazing. And let's just get it all out. So you never curl your hair?
I do, but it's not very much curly.
So what do you normally, like, what's your hair routine in a nutshell? You just like wash and
and then air
do you
dry.
blow air dry? Oh, what a lucky girl. Those of you watching who can just wash their hair and let it air dry, I'm so freaking jealous. But then again, I probably wouldn't have any of the hair related businesses that I have
It's
if my
true.
hair was perfect. So I
It's
always
true.
try to be grateful for my hair. So now
Mhm.
put your head back and just sort of scrunch it right at the roots. Yeah, at the roots. Actually, it's great because you've already put the dry shampoo, which is going to reactivate that as well. So I wouldn't, maybe when you flip it back, I'm going to see how much of the waves I would open.
Okay.
Okay, bring it all forward. And she's like the greatest model to have because A, she's gorgeous, B, she has beautiful,
Thank you.
thick, long
Oh
hair.
my God! Look
But
at
you can
me.
see. So again, now
Yeah.
you can either go with a brush or your fingers. I don't want to break them too much because I know they will fall down anyways.
Oh yes, especially
But,
with
you
my
know,
hair.
Did you see how easy that was though? I mean, you do
That
have a
was-
lot of hair, which takes it longer
Yeah.
to do, but with a small barrel like this one, and this one is probably like half an inch. I think it's not an inch, or maybe it is an inch. It's about an inch, I think, maybe. So it actually makes them tighter,
Yeah.
which is great. And you can still use big sections. I use pretty big sections, which can.
I love it, and definitely gonna keep opening, like even here.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Because
Look
my
so
hair
beautiful.
doesn't hold curl very well.
And do you have natural highlights, or is this natural, or you have?
This is from this is from the sun. I had
How
at
amazing!
the end.
I'm in love with your hair.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, no, I've been. You know that I've literally, I would say no to hair jobs. Like I had so many opportunities to make a lot
they
of
wanna,
money.
like, cut your hair. Or
No,
do
because they want to color it as a model.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
So you've
and I would
never
always
your hair?
no, never,
Ever.
ever.
Wow. I wonder, have you guys, if the ones of you watching, let us know if you've colored your hair. I feel like 80-90%.
I think a lot of people color.
will say
it,
yes. If you haven't ever colored your hair, do let us know as well. I'd like to know how many of you are out there. But I've colored
many
my
color
hair way
versions?
too many times. But I love that you have these lovely highlights. Alexa has the same thing in her hair.
Thank you. I know. I love her.
It's
Oh
so
my God,
cute.
it's so cute.
Yeah, so I think that was a really interesting, insightful video. Thank you so much again for
thank
opening
you.
up, letting me know more of you. And it's been such a pleasure having you here. Thank you for letting me play with your hair.
Thank
And
you.
thank you guys for sending all the questions. And definitely check out Valeria's video for the rest of the Q&A.
Thank you guys.
Love you guys. Bye.